Now it's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers, and I have with me in the studio a journalist, Dare Odufowokan, and a lawyer, Barrister Jide Ologun. Thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome.
All right, we'll start with the Nation newspaper this morning. It says here, Buhari exempt firms with 25 million naira turnover from VAT. That's in the Nation. The writer says, President presents 10.33 trillion naira estimates. No allocation for fuel subsidy. 2.45 trillion naira for debt service. And the lawmakers to pass budget in December. The News Direct says here, Buhari presents 10.3 trillion naira 2020 budget to National Assembly. Proposes 7.5% VAT from 5%. Real GDP growth of 2.93%. As reactions trail 2.45 trillion naira debt service, VAT increase, others. Blueprint says 2020 budget, Buhari presents 10.33 trillion naira estimates to the National Assembly. No IPPIS enrollment, no salary, President warned workers. Task MDAs on expenditure control measures. That's in the blueprint. Now the Daily Trust is saying here, Works gets lion's share as Buhari proposes 10.33 trillion naira for 2020. Lawan gives 3 weeks for ministers to defend budgets. Agencies must seek approval before recruitment. Only realizable revenue will make budget work, says experts. The Daily Times is saying here, 2020 budget, Buhari proposes 2.838 trillion naira, a deficit to spend 10.33 trillion naira. Allocates 262 billion naira to works and housing, power 127 billion, transport 123 billion, defense 100 billion, agriculture 83 billion. APC confident of early passage of budget. Budget will further impoverish Nigerians, says PDP. The Daily Sun says fares in Abuja as gunmen in army uniform abduct 9. Kidnappers demand 90 million naira ransom. 2 policemen abducted in Rivers. 150 bandits invade Sokoto State. So we will stay with this newspaper, the Daily Sun. Affairs in Abuja as gunmen in uniform abduct 9. What's your take on this? It's a horrific situation.
It's really, really worrisome. And I want to ask the question I've been asking. When military camouflage, materials were imported into the country, some of us asked the question who the importers were. When we read about containers of ammunition coming into the country, we asked the same question. And here we are now, having 150 bandits invading a community at the same time. Who counted them? Who saw them? Where are the security operatives? In the proposed budget for 2020, defense carries about 100 billion naira, about 85 billion for education. And I think we are not even addressing the foundation of this crisis we have in the country. And kidnapping has become a high-yield venture in the country now. And we are romancing it. We've taken it to the point where we negotiate with bandits, we celebrate them, and I'm worried about this because if you look at the fact that for us to migrate from the poverty we are now to prosperity, we need an enabling environment. I was monitoring Saudi Arabia to attract more tourists into that region. They have even tried to liberalize their accommodation policy about who can stay in the hotel and things like that because there is a target. It's a prosperous nation. They want to increase that prosperity. But here we are. And I mentioned something earlier this year, and I'm still asking. Recently, 6 mine-resistant military vehicles were allegedly smuggled into Nigeria, intercepted by the military, the customs. Where are they now? Who is going to use them? Because when you read about what's available to these insurgents, these kidnappers, these criminals, you'll be amazed and ask yourself, is this what, with what we have officially, we can match? But I wish my country the best because the government has the responsibility to secure the people and to provide welfare and prosperity for the people.
Now, Dara, these people are asking for 90 million naira ransom. We have seen situations recently where someone is kidnapped and a ransom is being asked, and the next thing, we do not know if he's been paid. but the person is released. And it's becoming a norm so far. At a point, a family had to come out to say they actually paid ransom when the security apparatus said they did not actually pay ransom. It's a topsy-turvy situation here. How did we get to this point?
It's really a terrible time for us as a nation. And rather than abate, this thing seems to be getting worse by the day. And it's worrisome, very worrisome. 90 million naira. Of course, I am sure negotiations will start. The asking price will reduce. The security operatives or apparatus will say, don't pay. The families will pay. Some will be released, some will be killed. Then that will be the end of this particular matter. Then a new set of kidnapping will be done. The ball will roll over again. And until we do something very drastic, that is how we continue. We got here because we kept playing by the rules of the criminals.
And so what kind of drastic measures do we
The
have to
drastic
put in
measure is
place?
for us as a government and as a people to decide that we will no longer make kidnapping lucrative. We are the one making it lucrative. The more they keep getting these ransoms, the more they will go for more people.
But you know that families are involved in this matter.
But kidnappings have been happening in other parts of the country. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not something you should even pray for your enemy to experience. We know. But how can we stop these criminals? It is only when they realize that the risk involved is more than the gains they stand to gain. To get. If they don't get paid, somehow we must find a way. It's a two-pronged approach. The government have the duty of protecting the people. It is the primary duty of government. We must prevent kidnappings from taking place. We have the soldiers, we have the Nigerian army, the Nigerian police, we have so many
But
of
do we have the technology?
See, the issue here is, why we keep asking if we have this technology. The people will not provide the technology. It is the government that will provide it. Enough of giving excuses. We must find a way of stopping criminalities before they happen. The idea of always waiting for them to happen and we'll find solution will take us nowhere as a people. That is on the part of the government. Government must stop criminals from having their way. Government must ensure that lives and properties are protected. We've been saying a lot about this, but in my own opinion, the government in Nigeria as of today have not done much to instill confidence in the people and to instill fear in the criminals. And these are two things we need to do. The people must be confident that the government will protect me and protect my properties. Criminals must know, they must be fearful of the fact that if I do this, I'll be caught. If they are doing it and getting away with it and even getting paid for being criminals to the tune of millions,
Yeah.
how do we now deter them? That is, and then about paying ransom. Like I said, being kidnapped or having any of your relatives kidnapped is not an experience you should wish your enemy. But when it happens, we must cooperate with the security apparatus, security operatives when they say don't pay. Because, yeah, it's dangerous. But it is only when we don't pay and criminals don't get money that kidnapping will become less lucrative. And just like other crime we used to know in the past, it will fade away when it is no longer money spinning. Okay,
so to solve this problem, do states actually need to create their own security apparatus?
That is it.
You know, I think there is a concept of compromise too. You isolate the case of Wadume, the kingpin kidnapper that was set free by some soldiers and the policemen killed. You saw how some soldiers were linked to him, benefiting from him. And some bandits were advising a governor in the northern part of the country that soldiers and policemen fuel this crime. Have we gone to that? What is the state of the nation, basically? I mean, he brilliantly mentioned the responsibility of the government to secure the people. What have we done about that? And again, we have not seen security as a fundamental human right. So you have the elite in government who are overprotected, and you have the masses who are overexposed, and nobody seems to be affected. But recently, bandits went to dislodge an emir from his palace. This thing has become a wildfire. And we still have these criminal elements going around. And of course, how do we handle this? One of it is to pay attention to, refining the minds of the human beings, talking about education. But we still have cases of almanjiri. Those who are begging today as almanjiris will grow up to be kidnappers. So what is the future when Nigeria comes to the point where we are estimated to be about 400 million? We are just 200 million now. And we have this level of criminality. And I hope that those who are responsible will get their records on the golden side of history. This thing can be stopped. If there is a way, a will, there is a way.
All right, journalist Dare Odufuoko and Barrister Chidi Ologun, thank you very much for talking to us on this.
God bless Nigeria.